Hey, what's going on, everyone? Zach here, and today we are going to make our very first Facebook ad. I'm going to walk you through the entire process of setting up your Facebook campaign and doing it properly. And this is super, super important because if you do this right, if you get all the settings correct, you don't have to worry about anything other than writing a good ad and producing a good ad creative. If you have these settings incorrect, then the entire thing could go to crap and you could waste a bunch of your client's money or your money if you're just testing this stuff for yourself. So it's really important that we get these settings right. And I'm going to go over this entire thing from start to finish. So the only thing I'm not going to go over right now is writing the copy itself. We're going to do that in a later video. But today we're just setting up the entire thing. So I got my ad copy here, already all written up. So we're going to save this for a little bit later from now. So first things first is go to your just regular Facebook. This is just my regular personal Facebook, my personal feed. And what you're going to want to do is come down here to the bottom left where it says create ad page group event fundraiser. And you're going to want to create, first you have to create your own page if you're going to run an ad. So if you don't have a page yet, then you're going to need to create a page, and you can be super basic, but you just click on create a page and then just make it. You don't even have to fill it all out. You can just fill some of it out, put a quick picture up there, and that's it. Once you are done with that, you're going to click create ad. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now this is the ad, or the back end. It's called a business manager within Facebook. So this is what you're going to see when you first click that. Okay, now I am in Google Chrome. I highly recommend using Power Editor. I like it the best. You can use Ads Manager. There is a lot of capability within Ads Manager. So you can use either one, but I'm going to go through everything in Power Editor because that's what I learned on, and I think it's easier to use than Ads Manager. Although Ads Manager now does have the same capabilities as the Power Editor. And if you're not familiar with either of those, it's basically just the platform that Facebook uses to produce the ads. So this is Ads Manager. To get to Power Editor, all you have to do is click this ellipses, these three lines, and click Power Editor. Now, quick little heads up, you have to have Google Chrome to use Power Editor. So download Chrome if you haven't yet. And to do that, just go in your search bar up here, search Google Chrome, and just click on this and download it. All right, so I've got a few accounts under this particular business manager account, so I'm going to go to my personal account, the one that I use to run ads for my stuff. And we're going to actually make an ad here. So here's all of my campaigns, but we're going to start a brand new campaign. So I'm under campaign, and what I'm going to do is hit create campaign. All right, and we get to name this. So I'm going to do test. Let's do this FBF test. So free before freedom test. All right, buying type, you're going to leave that at auction. So your only option. And a campaign objective. So this is important to choose the right one because Facebook's algorithm helps direct your ad to the right people based on the objective that we choose. So are we just trying to get traffic to our website? Are we trying to get conversions? Are we trying to sell stuff? Are we trying to get leads, etc.? Most of the time, for most of the stuff that we're going to do, we're going to be choosing conversions because we're probably trying to get a lead or we're probably trying to get a sale. So traffic is cool for like awareness campaigns. There's obviously this one's brand awareness, just reaching the most amount of people. But in most of our cases, we're trying to get a return on our investment. We're trying to get a lead, a highly targeted lead. We're trying to get a sale. So we're usually going to pick conversions. All right, so now we got a new ad set name. So I'll just do this, FBF ad set test, and then our ad. So let's make this ad something really enticing, like super duper ad. And now we're just going to hit create. So one of the things that Power Editor does is allows you to make all sorts of changes offline. And then when you are ready to make those changes live, you just hit review changes, boom, and you hit apply. But we're not ready to do that yet because we haven't set this ad fully up. So in order to open up our editing piece, we're going to come up here to our campaign, click on this little check mark, and click this button. It's going to give us the editing screen. The only thing we're going to edit here, if anything, is the campaign spending limit. I always just typically leave this off and I just watch it myself. Or you can set a limit there and it will never go over whatever limit you set. Okay, so to move over, you can do one of two things. You can either click right here or click on ad sets. So I'm going to click right here, move to the ad set, come to my editing page. And this is where we're going to basically target the ad, set up our budget, and also our optimization. So I'll show you that in a second. So first things first is, what is the objective? So they're going to optimize the delivery of your ads to get most of these conversions at the lowest cost. So what are we doing? Are we trying to get someone to buy something? Are we trying to get a lead? Are we trying to get them to register for a webinar? Whatever the case is, we're just going to click on that and pick our objective. Now, you'll see that some of these are red and some of these are green. This is basically just my pixel. So we're going to go over pixels here in a moment, but a pixel is a tracking code that you place on a website to tell Facebook what happened. So it sounds, now again, remember, I don't know how to code, so it's not that complicated, but it's basically just a piece of code that Facebook gives you, and you go take that code and you put it wherever you want it. And when someone ends up on the page that has the code on it, it tells Facebook, hey, someone came here, so your result has happened. To give you an example, let's say I choose lead. Let's say we make a squeeze page for an ebook. Well, I'm going to take this lead pixel or this tracking code and put it on the thank you page after someone receives their ebook. So if they come to our landing page and they type in their email and they hit submit, they're taken to a thank you page. On that thank you page, this lead pixel goes, hey, I'm here, and it tells Facebook that someone made it to the thank you page. So Facebook knows that when someone clicked on this ad, they ended up becoming a lead. So I know that I'm going to target more of those types of people because they're the most likely ones to become a lead. Does that make sense? So for this one, this is my ad that's actually currently running, and its whole point is to have people purchase something. So we're going to just do that. So I'm going to go to purchase. So same concept applies. When someone hits my thank you page, it tells Facebook, hey, you made it here, or someone made it here, so let's continue to run more ads to these types of people. Next is our budget. So we have whatever we want. You can do daily budget or a lifetime budget. Now, I recommend going with a daily budget. It makes things, I don't know about easier, but a lifetime budget is not really the way I like to go because I can't have as much control over it. And so I always stick with a daily budget, and my testing range is usually $10 a day. So I'm going to stick that at 10. Get a scheduled start of today, and I'm going to let this run, just keep on going, and turn it off whenever I want to. So you can turn these off whenever you want. It's not like you can't control this. I mean, you could let this go for, 5 minutes or, 4 weeks, whatever, but it'll only stick at $10 a day until you turn it off. We've got our audience. So this is where we're going to start targeting. We're going to go over this in a second. So I'm going to come back to this. So let's just pick an audience for now. One of my old saved audiences, let's say. Let's do this one. It's a lookalike. Okay. So we got that. Audience is all done. And then the placements here. So automatic placements or edit placements. I always go edit placements, and I always take off this audience network and Instagram if I'm not using Instagram. I definitely don't want, especially during testing, when we're talking about other things, like when we get an ad dialed in, we might let Facebook decide some stuff for us. But during testing, I'm not letting them decide anything, especially on certain ads. So like The ad that we're going to do now is a very long form copy, so this is all on the ad. So I'm not going to do right hand because that would look ridiculous there. Instant articles, I'm not going to do that. I do want it in the desktop newsfeed. I don't want it in the audience network, which is basically all the random apps that use Facebook. Like your ad could show up there, and there's really no control over that. So I don't really like it. I've always gotten really poor results. You always get really good cheap clicks, but never any good results. Instagram, this is going to be a long form Facebook ad, so it won't work on Instagram because Instagram is more visual based. So I'm only going to do feeds, and right now it's on all devices. So it depends on what we're doing. If we're just trying to get leads, all devices, totally fine. For what I'm doing now is a purchase. So I'm trying to get someone to click on my ad and buy something right away. And they'll do that on a phone, but my funnel has upsells in it. And most people aren't going to spend 50, 100, 200 bucks on their phone, like right after clicking an ad on their phone 10 minutes later. The people that do that are typically on computers. So I'm going to actually change this to desktop only, and then take this right-hand column off again. All right. So now we're coming back here to optimization and delivery. All right, so there's two different forms. We got conversions, impressions, or clicks, or daily unique reach. It's really only two, though. It's just conversions and link clicks, because conversions and impressions are the same, and same as reach. You get charged by impression, by how many people see the ad. Link clicks, you only get charged when someone clicks on the ad. So this is my philosophy. This has always worked the best for me. I always test on link clicks. Okay, and you get this little warning here. It says, with this option, your ad delivery won't be optimized for conversion using the conversion pixel selected. I know that. I want to see if this audience responds to the ad. If they respond to the ad, I will probably come in here, duplicate this ad set, and change it to conversions and let Facebook do the heavy lifting for me. Okay, but for testing, I'm just going to link clicks. I'll leave my bid amount at automatic, so if Facebook will just spend what it needs to spend on a click. The difference is if you go to manual, I could type in whatever I want to spend per click, and Facebook will pay up to $3.78 a click. Well, I don't want to limit it. I want to go automatic, because if it costs Facebook $7 to get me a click, I know that sucks. That's not good. But if I took it on manual right there, I'll never even get a click, because Facebook won't allow this ad to compete with other people out there because my bid is too low. So I'm going to go to automatic and just let it put it out there, and then Facebook will tell me how much it charged me for the click. But it will never go over $10 a day. So to give you a rough idea, you should probably get $1 or less per click. Now, costs per click really doesn't matter as long as you're spending less than you're making. So some people get all hung up on cost per click, like, it has to be below $1, has to be below 50 cents or whatever. Cost per click really doesn't matter. It just matters, is your result what you want? So if I make an average of $34 per sale and my cost per click is, $5, but every 4 people that click on it buy it, well, I'm spending $20 to get a $34 sale. Obviously, that's worth it. So who cares if my cost per click is high? But, if I am only trying to do awareness marketing, I'm just trying to get a bunch of people to click on my stuff, then I will care about that cost. But we still want to look at it to make sure, am I writing a good ad, or is it not being received well? So that's the ad set. Now we're going to move on to the ad itself. So again, click on the Edit tab. And you can title the ad here, and then click on the page that you're going to be using, which at first it'll just be your page. Then you're going to come here and select an image. So I've got a bunch of images already loaded, so I'm just going to pick one of my images. This one's fine. Look at that. It's fancy. So that's like a fancy looking Photoshop image. Let's go with something a little more normal. This is actually my best performing image to date. This one, just a picture. So FYI with creatives, this is called a creative, the picture. A picture of the person is best. So if you're marketing a product, the best thing to do is try to get the person in there. The other image I showed you had no picture of me. It was just of nothingness. That's fine. It's not a bad thing. It's just you typically get better results with this kind of a creative. Okay? So don't fret about making some beautiful Photoshop thing. It doesn't matter. Honestly, my second best performing one was this, which I made it in Photoshop, but it looks like a 4-year-old did it because it's super basic. It's just a picture of me holding a selfie. I wrote, pretty sure that was you, with a picture of this. You'd have to read the ad to get it, but it's like you don't need to have a fancy picture. People actually enjoy just normal looking stuff. So I think that's why this one is working the best. All right, so now we're going to enter our website URL. So enter the URL you want to promote. All right, so I know that is this. Oops. Okay, so we're going to take this URL, put that here. The display link. So this is the link right here. So if it's going to be any different than this, then you can type something in. Mine is not. It's going to be the same. So we're just going to leave that alone. But you could put like, www.iamthebomb.com. And Facebook will put that right there. Now, they're going to look at that and be like, okay, that makes no sense with this ad, so they're probably going to deny that. So I'm going to leave that blank so that they don't deny it. All right, so the text, this is going to be the main body of text that you see when you look at a Facebook ad. So we're going to come over here and copy all the text and just copy and paste it. Little pro tip is write your ads in Google Docs or somewhere else. I like to use Google Docs because it saves automatically, but you want to write them somewhere else for sure, because Facebook won't let you write this long of an ad unless you copy and paste it in there. So if you try to write it directly in here, number one, it's scary because if your computer shuts down while you're writing, it's all gone. But number two, it won't even let you go this far. So you just write it somewhere else and copy and paste it. This right here is the headline. So I'll put that there. You can see that coming up. And then this right here is the news feed link description. And that'll pop up right there. All right, now you're just going to pick your button, whatever you want. I want to leave it at Learn More. So we're going to do that. And that is it for the ad creation. So now I'm going to hit Review Changes and Apply. And as we wait for a second, this ad will be all set to go. So now it's going to be pending review. This usually takes, could take an hour or it could take 24 hours. Don't freak out. 24 hours is the review time. Sometimes it gets approved really fast. Something I would definitely recommend that you do is go to Facebook ad guidelines. So go ahead and search that. And review these. Here we go, advertising policies. Review these pretty thoroughly, okay? Because you don't want to get, if you get a couple ads denied, it's no big deal. I've gotten a bunch denied. But you don't want to get like all of your ads denied, or Facebook's going to, yellow flag your account and, really, take a hard look at stuff. So I'll just give you the basics. Don't make claims about money unless they're personal claims. So if I'm writing an ad for a client and I said, hey, look how you can make $1 million next week, that's going to probably get denied because we don't know if they can make $1 million next week. But you could say, how I made $1 million in 1 week because I'm making a personal claim. That's fine. So you don't want to do anything like that. You want to be really careful with the money stuff. Just make sure you make everything sound like it's from your own personal perspective. With weight loss and health-related ads, Facebook is pretty tough to dance around with those. I would recommend, if you can, try not to take a weight loss client for your first client because it can be a little tough because there's so many rules regarding weight loss. I don't know why. It's just that's the way it is. Facebook is picky about that stuff. So my first client, one of my first clients was a weight loss client, and I had to learn it. So no big deal. It can be done because I did it. But there's a lot more rules with health and weight loss. So just at the end of the day, just never really say you can be X or you can do X or I guarantee you can do X. Like, you'll lose weight if you do this system. Don't say that. Say, I did this and I lost weight. And if you just word everything that way, you will be really, really safe and likely not get anything denied. The other thing is within text within images. So if you make an image and you use Photoshop to add some text in there, just know that it can't take up more than 20% of the ad's image. And to do that, all you do is go to Facebook, go to Guide Tool, I think, or Grid Tool. That's it. Yeah, Text Overlay Tool. They changed the name. So go to Text Overlay Tool, and then you just hit Upload, and you add your picture in there, and then it just says, yep, sounds good, or low, medium, or high. So that's super easy. And that's really it. So be sure to review all these. Just don't advertise anything dumb like, guns and horrible topics. And last thing is you can't refer to someone directly. So let's say you're targeting a religious group, like let's say you're targeting Christians. You can't say, I know you're a Christian, so click on this ad. Because, like, let's say we targeted like a big Christian name like Joel Osteen or something. And we know that anybody who likes Joel Osteen is likely a Christian. So we can't say, hey, I know you're a Christian, so you must like this, because you're referring to them as a Christian. But you could say, hey, if you're anything like me, you might be wondering about XYZ. Personally, I'm a Christian and have been for 10 years, and here's what I think about blah, blah, blah. So you can always word it correctly. It's just you don't really want to trip up on these guidelines. So they're pretty easy to understand. I basically gave you that bottom line. Pretty much will cover you head to toe, but it's good to review these. So moving back to the ad. So it's pending review, should be approved shortly. And last thing, I told you that I would show you how to target. So if you're in Power Editor or anywhere in the Business Manager, which is with this gray bar up here, you're going to come up here and click on All Tools, and then go to Audience Insights. And this Audience Insights is pretty much everyone on Facebook, and you're going to be able to learn almost anything that you want about your audience and be able to target them directly from here. So let's say I want to target, let's say we're doing network marketing, just because that's what we're already making that as our example. So let's do that, network marketing. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm already in the United States, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'll leave the age and gender alone for now, but I'll go to interests. So some big network marketing people, let's say Eric Worre. So I'm going to go find him. Okay, so we got some Eric Worre stuff in there. Who else? Ray Higdon. So add him in there. Okay, that's fine for now. We don't need to add a million. So we've already got 500,000 to 600,000 people that have an interest in Eric Worre and Ray Higdon. All right, so you can go even further down. You can go, let's say you only want to target people that make over 100 grand a year. You can do that. And we drop down to 150 to 200,000 people. That's fine. You could go, do they own a home? How much is their home worth? Are they parents? Do they have kids? Are there any, do they have kids that are, out of the house, or do they have a new job or a new relationship? You can get super, super in depth with all this stuff. You can look at their education, high school, college. Are they married, single, in relationship? What's their status? You can click on all this stuff, and it will just keep drilling down this audience and telling you more and more about them, which is awesome. Then you can just hit more, save as, and all you do is type in your audience, hit save, and now you can come in up in the Power Editor and literally target to that exact audience. So you just come here and go to the Edit tab, and I could find them right here. So I'll actually do that for you. You got to refresh so that it can pick up the new audience we just made. So I'll come right here, I'll click New Audience, bang, FBF Test. That's exactly it. So it tells us exactly our reach, 92,000. Now it went down a little bit because we're in desktop only, but if I took automatic, boom, jumps way back up. So I'm going to go back to edit though and bring it back to where we want it. Okay. You can also do a lot of your targeting right from here. So I'll show you how to do that as well, and you can just choose your method. I personally like Audience Insights, and I'll usually do it that way, or sometimes I might come in here and add in stuff if I want to. So you can come in right here. Let's take this out and add some interest or behavior. So you got Eric Worre. Let's do Ray Higdon. Network Marketing Pro. So we get the exact same scenario, but we just did it here rather than in Audience Insights. Then there's this little box right here. It says expand interest when it may increase conversions at a lower cost per conversion. If you see I click it, it goes up to 81 million people. Okay, I know that there's probably not 81 million people that are in the network marketing niche that are going to get my stuff based on this tiny little audience I gave it. So if I unclick it, let's see where it goes to. 250,000. Sounds way more realistic. The name of the game is not how big of an audience can we get, it's how targeted can we get. Because we're paying for each impression essentially that we're getting out there. And so if it takes us, 10,000 impressions to get a click, that's going to cost a lot of money. And if we have 81 million people this ad is being shown to, it's going to cost us a ton. So we want to get more targeted because it's going to be cheaper and give us a much higher return on our investment. So I'm usually going to uncheck that, especially during testing when I have this optimized for link clicks. Once I get this ad working, I'll probably come down and change this to conversions, and I'll probably expand this because at that point, Facebook knows who's most likely to convert on this ad, and we're telling it to, hey, find me the best people that are going to buy this. And Facebook is going to go out and redirect this ad based on who's buying. So we can have as big of an audience as we want, and Facebook's going to do that calculations and whittle that audience down for us, which is going to be really nice. But when we're starting, we're going to do link clicks and conversions. This is going to give us the best feel as to if our ad works or not. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and discard these changes and put it back to the way we set it up. So with that, guys, that is how you set up an ad. That is really all there is to it. If you just follow that step by step and leave those settings the way that I just placed them for you, especially during testing, you are good to go. When you're done testing and you know your ad works, swap it over to conversions and let it go from there. Now, the only thing I would recommend you do is when you're ready to go to conversions, when you're done testing on your cost per click one, you can just do this, hit duplicate, and have a new ad set specifically for conversion optimization and have one specifically for click optimization. So you can keep the stats separate and let them run alongside each other to see what wins. Because while most campaigns will do better on conversions after you get everything optimized, I have plenty that are under management for me that run way better off of clicks. Like I've got one that I get for every $20 I spend, I get a customer, and that's on conversions. And then I've got the same exact one set for clicks, and for every $6.74 we spend, I get a conversion, I get a sale. So you just want to make sure you duplicate these and let them run alongside each other so the stats stay separate and nice and clean. So anyway, guys, with that, we are all set with the ad setup. I hope you got a lot out of this. This was super, super helpful for me. This would have been super helpful for me, and I hope this is very helpful for you. With all of that, if you haven't taken a look at the private sales page, feel free to do that whenever you would like to. If you haven't had a glimpse into what that's going to be like yet, I've put together a really, really awesome package for you, and you can get all the details over there. But essentially, I will be giving you all of my swipe files and my entire landing page vault. So basically, all the clients that I've ever had and ever worked with across all the different niches, I've compiled all of the landing pages, the sales pages, my sales copy, the design, everything into a vault that you can go into and pull from whenever you get a client in that niche. So if you get a client in the weight loss niche, you can just go into Landing Page Vault and say, okay, so Zach did this one for a webinar, he needed this one for a sales page, so I'm running a webinar for my new client, so I'll just use this one because it has already worked for another client, so I'll just use that there. And let's say you're writing an ad for a physical product manufacturer. Well, Zach ran this ad, and I give you all the copy, all the creative, all the back-end setup for how I did it inside of Facebook, and you can just pull that out and plug it into yours and use that for your client. So I'm going to give you all of that. There's also my Instagram growth strategy. So some of my clients want to grow their Instagram too, and that is one of the most profitable things I've ever done is Instagram growth for people, because I can literally automate almost the entire thing and charge like $600 to $700 a month to grow their Instagram, and it takes me probably 5 minutes a day. Seriously, 5 minutes a day to just post the stuff, but I hire it all out, and I spend like $50 hiring it out. I charge like $700 for it, and so I'm giving you all that as well. And then for free, a 30-day walkthrough to building your own free before freedom business. So every single day, walking you through the 2 to 3 hours of work you would need to do to set this business up, and by the end of it, you should have your own clients, your own business, and you should be well on your way to leaving your job, if not already have left your job. So anyway, you can get all the details over on the private sales page, and obviously I don't want to make this a giant pitch fest in every video, so I'll let you go there when you're ready. And with that, we will talk to you all soon, and excited for the next video. Thanks, guys.